hold on, I'm an old lady, hold on.
Hey, I'm like, what? I'm like 24 years old, and that's 100 in, like, boomer years.
I can't see him. I need to keep putting on my glasses. Ah!
Why do you keep taking them off?
Well, because the webcam doesn't register my eyes.
Hello, me to Chaos, Chaos55t here,
And welcome to a very special type of character analysis. This is gonna be possibly a 4-parter, maybe even more if the 4 do well. Today, we're gonna be covering High Guardian Spice.
Oh god, not that!
With me in the background, who's basically listening to this tormentous fucking script, is Fluffy Turbo.
God and me.
Oh my gosh, this is gonna be a mess. I will try not to nitpick the show's art style or animation. I'm here to criticize the character, not draw out the video with stuff we already know about the show's visual-wise. This will be a character analysis based from episode 1 to 6 in season 1, so spoilers ahead. Going off from the list of spices in Scavaro Fair, I will start off with Parsely. She's depicted as a dwarven blacksmith and the more brute force of the main 4 Spice Girls. However, her personality isn't always written off like one. More of a... how should I put this? Trying too hard to be relatable in one scene, then acts like an NPC in a poorly translated JRPG in the next. Relatability can work well for people to bond with the character, feeling a sense of getting to know the person. But there needs to be a healthy balance between being relatable and having a personality that makes a protagonist or antagonist stand out on their own. It's always nice for the viewer to have a sense of immersion into a series, feeling like they could be a part of the action alongside the characters. But there comes a time where being too relatable or painfully cliched and stiff can break the immersion of the world and its plot. Stories that introduce their characters tend to leave a type of impression on us, whether good, bad, or a strange cross between the two. What the fans and I saw in the first episode where we are introduced to Parsely did not leave a good or bad impression. I don't even know what kind she left us on, but confused, probably. We learned more about her family dynamic and her problems before we could see her blacksmithing skills in action. In fact, we only saw her swing a hammer once on screen, and that was to get the attention of her rowdy little brothers. By the way, don't do this dents the anvil. She also observes Rosemary's broken pendant and then gloats about being highly skilled without demonstrating to the viewers on said skills. The whole scene was a mess. If it were redone, I would suggest having Parsely on screen, using her blacksmith hammer, repairing or modifying something. Whether it's straightening a glowing red-hot sword, or just adding a touch-up to some jewelry. And instead of the little brothers coming in and wreaking havoc on the place, the brothers could have been mentioned through a passing conversation between the protagonists. I think I could squeeze this one into my schedule. How long do you think it'll take to repair it? It just needs a new rod. You're lucky that the hinges didn't bend when it snapped. Otherwise, it would have taken a lot longer to repair the whole thing. Thank goodness, you're a lifesaver. Oh, this one's on the house. Are you sure? Absolutely. Here you go, good as new. Thank you so much. It's nothing, just helping out my new classmates and all. Classmates? You're going to the academy too? You're so skilled for your age. Yep, honed my smithing all thanks to my little rowdy brothers. Aw, that's sweet. How many siblings do you have? Lost count after 7. It's not the best dialogue, but you get the idea of what could have worked better for the introduction to the character. Within these episodes, Parsely attends a first-year's class in blacksmithing. Of course, breezed through it, not making 1, but 2 daggers under 5 dings of her anvil. The teacher praises her and tells her that he would move her to a 3rd-year's class. Nothing wrong with that, right? Well, there's no one in the 3rd-year's class. I get that she's more advanced than the first years, but where are the 2nd or 3rd years? I have so many questions, and the answers are probably going to be, the scriptwriters didn't think that part through. This scene would have been less awkward and creepy if they bothered to put other students in the background of this room. She is then given a dinky little crosspin and goes on this giant adventure that just loops back around to the classroom. And what was the point of this? learning to use the dinky little hammer or something. The entire B-plot was pointless other than to introduce the mushroom crabs for the next episode. They could have gone about this better. My suggestion is that she does show off her skills. Not by a few bangs, but maybe she teaches the other students what she knows about straining in the metal and the types of iron that work with durability. The teacher overhears it and asks her to stay after class. This spooks her as this was her first day and felt like she messed up. Professor Phlox at first scolds her for teaching other students on the first day, then explains that orientation day was about the students showing off their greatest potential and seeing what could be improved upon. Because, I presume Parsely is a people pleaser, she begs Phlox not to kick her out of the class. She just wants to help her fellow classmates, that's all. This makes Phlox loosen his agitated expression into a tired sigh, reassuring her that she's not in trouble. In fact, he was surprised on how much she already knows about working with metals. He offers to bump her up a few grades, where the class he studies there would teach her how to enchant weapons. She was shocked at first, then became overwhelmed and happy with emotions, thanking the professor in tears. In episode 2, she attends the weapon enchantment class. Many of the students there are deeply focused on their projects, not even looking at the new face. Professor Phlox greets her, a lot more jolly than yesterday. He asks for her to grab some tools for this assignment, whilst pointing to an old door on the other side of the classroom. This followed by, "Oh, careful of the trappers, infestation and all." This would have shaved off a lot of time from the episode, but it's sweet, to the point, puts actual blacksmithing knowledge to use, and makes the teacher come off less like a creep. This episode's B-plot revolves around Parsely visiting her family due to an infestation at their school. The entire setup was to establish that Parsely suffers from parentification, where the person is given full responsibilities to raise and take care of their siblings. For half of the episode, we see her parents pressure her to leave the academy to come back and tend to their 12 and counting children. How do you think they would have a change of heart? If you guessed that one of their sons was one kickflip away from the golden fields, you goddamn right. If I have to do one more story overhaul, I'm gonna lose it. This whole series needs a reboot. Please comment on what you think would have improved this series, or at least Parsely's segments, cause my brain is just about done coming up with ways to fix this. Okay, it's the next day, mind all fresh, and Parsely doesn't have quite a big role in this episode until 10 minutes in, accompanied by Parnell, the kid who could stare in the eyes of death and just shrug. This whole B-plot centers around them just doing the obstacle course like everyone else. There was this one thing that made me let out a chuckle, but that was about it. The whole reason for this is to show that Parsely assaults a douchebag at the end so Parnell can get the big shiny trophy instead of her.
Not unless you cause grievous bodily harm to someone.
Whoops! Dropped my hammer. I should be more careful.
Yeah, oh, that was very irresponsible of you, Parsely.
Real subtle, Professor. Real subtle. So, what I could establish about this character, they are possibly a people pleaser, the supportive, friendly type, maybe? Sometimes the voice of reason, not all the time. Other times she is just slow on reading the room. It took me watching 6 episodes over and over to try to make these rough guesses. Other than that, we really don't know much about her outside her occupation and the weight on her shoulders. And being this far into the series, that's not a good thing. You want to tell a story, but also show who your protagonists are within at least the first 4 episodes of a series. Reel in the viewers right away. We want to see a character. One of the 4 faces of your show. Not styrofoam with glitter in the first half of the season. The best examples of establishing characters within 4 episodes. Let's take another anime that has a similar premise. Little Witch Academia. One character I could try to use as an example for this is, I think, Lotte. Lotte is a very skittish and cautious individual, yet we see her gentleness, kindness, and her support for her friends and idols. We have also seen her challenges and personal accomplishments in only 4 episodes. Her dialogue and presence in the show don't feel unnecessary or unneeded. She always has her own impact to the situation, even if it's to try to convince Akko to not do something dumb in vain. These traits are the polar opposite to Susie and Akko, which makes her stand out from the other two. Another thing to note, these personality traits are consistent throughout the rest of the season. Sometimes there would be more that is established down the line, but that's because we are watching her learn and grow along the way. If I can learn a lot about Lotte in 4 episodes, but barely any scraps within 6 for Parsely, then that's a really huge problem.
But Chaos, why are we covering this show? We all know that the show and all the characters are bad. Why fix what is beyond repair?
Because what I see potential in could help green artists and storytellers learn and grow from the criticism of another. Even if the people behind the creation of Parsely and the others don't want to listen, it's still educational to those who want to listen.
Why establish character analysis when you're only observing them in 6 episodes?
Think of it this way. You're someone who binges shows from the good impressions the first few episodes displayed. Some would turn their nose after the first episode, maybe by the 4th. They shouldn't have to endure hours of watching an entire season to be pulled in. Even if the protagonist finally gets a proper character development after who knows how many episodes in, the audience already had walked away from the series or got annoyed on how long it took for this to happen. But yeah, that's gonna be about it. This is all I could legitimately say about Parsely within the first 6 episodes. Future Chaos here. Sadly, past Chaos's brain exploded from dealing with this entire show. And it's not just her. Take it from some of my Patreon pledgers that I had the pleasure of just sitting down and watching this monstrosity. I even asked if they could join in on this and make their own videos. So if they upload any videos about their takes on the show, I'd be more than happy to link it in the description below. I would like to thank these pledgers who helped make this video possible. This is Chaos55t, signing out. Hi, I'm Erwin. Hey, Mandy.
Perfectly balanced. Something should be, yo.
It's like it keeps hitting the back of my throat here, and then climbing up, and it's always these frothy, foamy burps.
Could be worse. Could be coming from downstairs.
Or worse, heartburn. What the fuck happened to my character?
Crack cocaine.
When isn't she on crack? Look at this! She's doing the Michael Jackson! Oh, it's because it's registering you! That's why!
Oh, it's registering me?
Yeah! The best examples of establishing characters within 4 episodes. Excuse you.
I'm sorry.
It's fine. It's part of being human. God dang it.
My allegiance to the frag.
Fucking making fun of me behind my back?
You know what else tastes like stomach bile?
What?
My mom.
God dang it.